can be taken but not given. It is the process of taking which is empowerment in itself. This is Matt Pearce. Okay, welcome back. Andrew and Ken have just come back from a sneaky cigarette during the break, which leads me to ask you, actually, Andrew, if you are elected the next chairman of LSD, are you going to quit smoking?
No. No. What's the point of quitting smoking?
Well, that's what, didn't President Obama, he kind of pledged or promised if he became president, he would give up smoking, apparently.
For his own image.
Because he realized partly that, but I think it was also to kind of give a positive sort of image to people and young people saying, I can't smoke because it's very, very unhealthy.
Matt, I think you don't know about one of the coolest photo of Andrew was he was lighting up a cigarette in the police car after he got caught.
You remember that?
I don't actually, but it sounds like Clint Eastwood, actually.
It was taken by the Reuters. Okay. I give it to you next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a copy of that.
All right.
I send you an email.
I haven't seen that, actually, but it sounds like people are going to be comparing you to Clint Eastwood, saying you're Hong Kong's Mr. Cool, getting photographed smoking in the police van.
I can just promise to all of the supporters of the LSD member that I will do what I believe.
You do what you believe, okay.
That's the reason why I prefer not to quit smoking.
All right. So you would tell young people not to smoke, but you're going to keep doing it yourself. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, you did promise me earlier, actually. No, you did tell me that you quit drinking for 3 months.
Yes.
During the last. Is that right? During the last big election. That seems pretty impressive.
2008. Yeah. Because I'm not an alcoholic. Some people think I'm alcoholic. But actually, I can prefer not to drink any wine. Yeah. So that's why it's easy for me to quit drinking wine during the election campaign.
It's probably
because I have to make myself very clear in my mind.
You've got to be very clear, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's true. When you're in, I can see that. Right. Anyway, I want to ask you a bit more about what you've been up to behind the scenes. I think listeners will be interested what you've been up to behind the scenes to do with the DeFacto referendum. I know you've been pretty heavily involved in that and have been like the main spokesman for the League of Social Democrats to do with it and so on. And if I'm right, there's it's going to happen. The resignations are going to happen on the 27th of January. Is that right?
It will be effective on 29th because Raymond Wong has a motion debate. His last motion debate. Not Raymond Wong, but Albert Chan has his last motion debate on 27th of this month. And Raymond Wong has a oral question on that day. So we are very lucky about this. So that's why we will submit our resignation letter on 27th, and the effective day will be 29th.
Okay. And just briefly explain to our sort of international listeners what it's all about, why LSD and the Civic Party are doing it, and what's kind of the idea behind it, and so on. And what would you say to your critics?
The basic reason behind we support this movement is simply because we don't have other choice for the people of Hong Kong to express their views. And we'll let the Chinese government and the SAR government listen to what we want. Listen to what we want in the democracy movement. So that's why the de facto referendum is a must for us. And this is a kind of a direct democracy. And this is from the principle point of view. Why we do this? Because this is the principle. And this is also a means to an end, because we want this to express very clear the wishes of Hong Kong people for democracy.
And come the 27th or the 29th of January, I suspect it will be pretty big news, both locally and internationally, actually. Because let's face it, Hong Kong's not often in the news internationally, is it? But I expect it will be on this occasion. The idea of 5 lawmakers resigning.
So this is not only a by-election. This is a de facto referendum.
Right.
From our point of view, because Hong Kong only have 5 districts with one of our Democrats from each district resigned, it is a by-election. It is the real point of the government. But we believe that this is a de facto referendum because 7 million Hong Kong people, 3 million voters have to vote. If you vote for us, that means you vote for our agenda. So to have democracy as soon as possible, to abolish the functional constituencies.
So it's kind of it's a form and quite in some ways quite a clever form of protest.
Yes.
What's been done actually.
So we believe this is a movement. It is not only a by-election. Yeah. And this make the government look bad.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think you're right about that. And it's interesting that the 3 LSD lawmakers are resigning, and 2 of the Civic Party lawmakers, and the Democratic Party are refusing to get involved, aren't they?
They're absent this time.
And it's kind of interesting to see LSD and the Civic Party joining forces, and because they're not naturally, you wouldn't automatically see that they would be close bedfellows, but they are.
No way. In politics, sometimes we are enemies, sometimes we are friends.
And so how's it been in terms of behind the scenes? Because obviously you've had to meetings and so on with different
frequent meetings.
And how have you been getting on with them all, and what's been going on behind the scenes? The kind of
I can only say that this is a learning process for us.
Yeah, I mean it's a unique situation.
This is politics.
Yeah,
you have to give, and sometimes you have to take.
Yeah.
And so Raymond said he won't attend that kind of meeting. Because he cannot stand it.
Right, and this is
waste of his time, and he cannot sometimes make compromise about what we make the decision. So Andrew, you go. Okay, I go.
And they're happy for you because you're talking about the big meeting, like of all of the 20 odd legislators, including the Democratic Party as well. Yeah.
But if we have a direct dialogue with the Civic Party, especially the youngsters, because Civic Party also send some youngsters to join this movement as the decision makers, I think we can get along with them. It's quite easy to get along with them. And the problem is they cannot make the decision by themselves. Every time when there are differences, they have to refer this back to ask their big brothers, big leaders, whether they can agree or not. And that's the problem. So sometimes going